Hello guys, welcome to Ride VIP, the Rideshare channel. My name is Serge, and in today's video I would like to talk to you guys about the income that we're making from Rideshare. Whether you're working for Uber or Lyft, you probably noticed that recently your income has dropped, and it's probably hovering anywhere from $25 to possibly $21 an hour, something around there. If you cherry picking, it's probably slightly higher, maybe anywhere from $23 to maybe like $27 to $30 an hour. Correct me if I'm wrong, like let me know if you're cherry picking, if it's better. But when I was cherry picking with Uber, at best my income is right around like 23 and some change. So if you don't select any quests, hold on, let me put my phone on silent, that way we're not going to be disturbed with all the phone calls. So anyways, if you're making around like 15, right, that is gross, and all the income that I just stated, that would be gross, like 15 to 21. 15 to 21 would be if you're working, basically depending if you're working on the weekend or if you're working like the normal days. Like if you're working like the normal days, I'm talking about like Monday to 13, you're probably doing $15 an hour or slightly better. If you're working on a weekend, you could be making $20 or more per hour. But overall picture, if you take everything into account, you're probably making around like $19 an hour, right? But and just to kind of clarify things, if you work the whole week over 40 hours and you've been working at different type of days, it's gonna average out to be about $19 an hour. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is according to what I'm making. And if you guys seen my previous videos, then you will know I constantly calculate like how many hours I worked, and then I divide those hours into the total income for the whole week, and then I try to figure out what is the hourly rate. And for me, it's been about $19 an hour. But with that $19 an hour, that is actually income that is gross. That's not taking out any expenses out of the whole equation. Okay, so for me, with this Tesla rental, it's costing me right around $6 to $7 to operate it per day. But actually, let me just by the way, we're in autopilot, and I know what you guys said about autopilot. This is not full self-driving. I'll actually make a review of this whole autopilot in one of my videos, but this is better than you think. Trust me, it's better than anything available. So anyways, I'm charging about like $5 a day charging, if I am charging somewhere. So the Tesla's $415 for the week. I work 7 days, so let's divide that into 7 days. So that's $59 plus $5 charging. That works out to be about $64.28. Now, if we divide that into 12 hours a day, that's normally what I work, it comes out to be $5.35. Okay, so the reason we want to find that out is I want to find out the hourly cost of operating this Tesla. So I'm trying to get the most out of it, so I work anywhere from 10 to 12 hours a day. So let's just divide that, times that by 12 hours. So we're back at $64.28. We'll just divide that by 10 hours. So I get $6.42. So I like to round those numbers off between $6 and $7, right? So let's take that like it's $7. So if I'm making $19 overall per hour, and we take the 7 out, so then basically we're left with 12, right? I think, like if we take 7, so, yeah. So that's going to be basically $12 an hour. So that's what income I'm making while renting this Tesla, is about $12 per hour. Okay, so that is if I don't cherry pick. This is if I take all the rides as normal. So besides cherry picking, I want to give you guys some other options, because recently I was talking to you guys about how I want to purchase a Tesla. I may or may not purchase it. Well, I'm not saying not gonna do it, but I'm saying like it might not be an immediate type of purchase, because I like to purchase things in right time, right? So there's always timing involved. So because I have other things going on and I'm growing my business that I have at home, I might not necessarily need a Tesla for every day and put those other miles. So if I do math the other way, if I'm not using it that often, and of course I'm not going to be renting a Tesla at that point, right? If I'm not doing much rideshare, or if I'm not doing any rideshare, then any car that I have at home, I don't care if it's an SUV, will work for me, because my, the store that I like to go to is about like 11 miles away, so it's not gonna be a major expense even with the highest fuel prices. So probably in that situation, it's best not to have any kind of car payment, even though my car payment can be paid by YouTube's revenue just from one of my channels that I had for like 7 years. But we're not gonna talk about that right now, about me trying to cover my payment. I just like to make sure that when I think of getting a car payment to do anything, and I still do not recommend you get a normal type of car to do rideshare, it has to be electric. I say Tesla because Tesla works for me, works out for me because I really enjoy Tesla, right? Like, I would much rather buy a Tesla versus other cars, just because Tesla has the nicest charging network, and I think overall quality, I think that the engineering when it comes to battery technology and the motors itself, I think Tesla has a little bit better technology when it comes to that. I'm sure other automakers is just as good. I just haven't really gave them a second look, okay? So I think in the future I should take a look at other cars, but at this point I've only test driven a Tesla and I like them, and yes, probably drink the Tesla Kool-Aid, right? But I think an electric car, let's just say an electric car would be best to use for rideshare, whether it's new or used. Not every single one, because you have to look at their maintenance history, you have to look at the overall history to see what actually works. Now, with that being said, we're not going to be really like talking about that too much. I'm just saying, like, if you do get a car payment of any kind, you can't be just reliant on Uber's income or Lyft's income, because they may kick you off the platform. So long story short, somebody was telling me like, oh, what if you get kicked off Uber platform as well? How are you gonna pay for your Tesla? Let's pretend for a minute that I don't have anything else going on in my life, and I do need some kind of income coming in. Like, we all need to work, we all need some kind of income coming in. So let's pretend none of my businesses are working out for me and I only need to work somewhere. So where would I work to continuously now pay for that Tesla? Who pays better money than Uber? Probably I should have said, right? Or better money than Lyft. And this is according to what I'm getting paid. And here I am driving in a comfort vehicle, and if I take all these trips and whatnot, I'm only making $19 an hour, so minus the Tesla expense. So where else can I work and make similar money? All the expenses taken out of it. There's many choices. So recently I said that you could get like a job at like Taco Bell, right, and make $15 an hour. That's just like a basic pay. But recently I had a person in my vehicle that works for Amazon, and I just basically asked, like, regular warehouse worker, how much can they make? Okay, just a regular warehouse job. You don't have like experience, you just get a job at Amazon. So Amazon pays $16.40 per hour starting out, and then income goes up from there, right? So if you go to just Amazon, right, you just have to think about the expense of getting to work and getting yourself from work. There's obviously going to be taxes that you have to pay. They're going to, take out taxes out of your income, and that's going to be based on, your family size and whatnot, how much taxes you're going to get paid. Then you're going to get some of the taxes back at the end of the year if you pay too much, right? With all that being said, if you did get a Tesla, right, for a payment, an Amazon worker probably makes a lot more sense for them to get that Tesla, because they get that $7,500 tax credit, and that's mostly for W-2 workers. That's for people basically that's paying taxes in. So if you're a business and you are paying lots of taxes in, then yes, you could, deduct that portion out of your taxes, and then you'll end up keeping some of that money. But there's just a lot of stuff to say, so I'm like just taking everything into account. So let's just pretend that you had some kind of car payment, and Uber and Lyft kick you off their platform, and you need a job, you need to have income coming in. You could easily get a job at Amazon and be like a warehouse worker, where you're going to be like working and making $16.40 an hour. And On top of that, they have very good benefits. On top of that, they pay 95% of your college. Like, if you decide to go to college while working there, they fully support you. You could get a higher education. So that means you could actually be promoted more into the company, or you could get some kind of nice degree and then get a better job, right? So that is for like a basic profession, okay? Then I had another person that was in my vehicle, and that was a nurse. I was taking a nurse to the hospital. She says sometimes she's seeing checks in 2 weeks, $8,000. That's how much she's making. But that's how much a nurse makes, all right? And I said, well, how many hours do you work in that 2 week span? She says about 84 hours for the 2 weeks combined. So I'm like, well, that's just a little bit over 40 hours a week. She's like, yeah. So I said, what do CNAs make? CNA is a certified nurse's assistant. Guys, you don't know this, but I used to be a certified nurse's assistant. And back in the day when I worked, I think I started like in 2002, like right around that time I started, and I quit working as a CNA in 2007. So I worked as a CNA for 5 years, and I worked for 3 different companies as a CNA. All of these companies were in-home healthcare type of CNAs. So I worked for Bayada Nurses, Interim Healthcare, and Cypress of Charlotte. So I worked for 3 different nursing agencies at the same time. I was doing 90 hours a week, seriously, 90 hours. I was hustling back then to make as much money as possible. But my highest client was paying me $12 an hour, and this was back in the day, okay? So I said, well, how much the CNA makes right now? And she said that $25 an hour in the hospital. She says, we have such a huge shortage right now that this hospital, and I know which hospital that is paying an additional $25 on top of that $25 that the CNA is making per hour. Can you believe that, guys? So that's like $50 an hour for a CNA. This is how much things have changed since I've been a CNA, which makes me wonder sometimes, should I go back? But I stopped having an employee mindset a long time ago. So all of these jobs, while tempting, right, because the income is definitely great, this is not something I want to do because I don't have an employer mentality anymore, because I've been self-employed since 2007. So when I left the job type of market, I basically had lots of ups and downs in my life. I had good times, I had bad times. I had times where I had lots of money and times that I didn't have any money. So like sometimes I was broke and sometimes I was doing like so well. So with that being said, I've learned what to do and what not to do in order to be financially stable. I've learned that when times are tough, you know, I learned how to survive. Right now things are not tough for me at all. I went through times when back in 2009 I was basically homeless. I lived in a van with my wife. Like, that was my second year of being married. I thought, well, what if my wife not gonna like this too much, and then she could probably leave me, you know, if that's the case. But she stuck with me through the bad times. Now I've been married 17 years. But so basically where am I getting at? When I was kind of like homeless and in the van, I made a decision back then in saving enough money and buying a home for cash, which everybody thought I was crazy. Like, that's not doable. That's what my friends thought, right? Anybody that sometimes, like, my family would get like offended, like how you think we're stupid, you know, kind of like that, you know. And I'm like, no, you know, not saying that. Like, I'm never trying to be bragging or anything to try to say somehow I'm better. I mean, well, heck, at that time this was just a dream, you know. So people get offended sometimes of various different things, including some things I said on this channel, just because I'm showing you guys what's possible out there, what kind of income is possible. So then I kind of question things. I'm like thinking like I'm here to help. Like, I am here to help. Like, this is what I'm doing. I spend a lot of time to try to provide some information to try to get you guys to a better place. But you know, we have some people here in the comment section that are great, and we have some people that wish me harm. Like, I don't know why, but this is how it is. So then I'm questioning things. I'm like thinking like, okay, like, which information should I provide and which I should just keep to myself, because I like to be an open book and I like to help everybody. But unfortunately, this world, it's not all good, unfortunately. But I was hoping that I have like-minded viewers here. This is why I share as much as I do, because the way I look at it, like, if I had a bunch of people in here that's like-minded, individuals and they were not in the same place in life as I am, what can I do to help improve their situation? Like, so basically, if I would have went back in time and could find my own channel, like, would I be able to watch his channel to get some information, like, with, you know, that came from experience, came from like hardships, and came from some success? I would definitely watch my channel, because like that's how I look at it. And also, like, I'm looking at it like, okay, when my boys grow up and if they want some information, whatever, can they watch my channel and get that? What if something horrible happens to me? Things can happen. You know, we have a dangerous job. Can I leave something behind that my kids potentially can watch and better themselves? Yes, that's so. I'm doing this to help improve somebody's life out there. Not everybody's life is good, and not everybody's life is bad, right? But I think if somebody's watching me, then they're potentially doing about something similar that I'm doing, and why not share ideas, right? So with all this being said, guys, I enjoy working for myself, and I made a decision back in 2009 when I was like completely broke, just living in a van. We're gonna save money, and we started by listening to Dave Ramsey. We read his book, right? I didn't take like his financial university, like I didn't do none of that. I just listened to his CDs, which is an audible type of book, and he said some things that he says people will think you're crazy, but this is how you do it. And basically, he was showing, you know, how you could live without credit cards and you could just live without debt. And we're like, whoa, that's what we need. And at that time, that seemed like, wow, very powerful information. And it is. Now it just seems like common sense. We've been living that type of life. And we were able to buy a home for cash, commercial zone property for cash. We have all these cars that I have for cash. And none of this stuff, when I say, is to brag at all, ever. This is only to try to, how should I say, like, motivate that I've taken like little jobs like this, little side hustles, gigs, bunch of driving jobs, and I was able to save, I was able to flip, I was able to get my way, you know, higher in life. And still, I'm not where I want to be. I want to be somewhere even higher. So as I'm going in my life, I want to be able to share kind of like some of the things that I'm doing to get there. And I'm constantly updating my own information and constantly testing new ways of doing stuff. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. I'm about to pick up a client, and as you can see, this is how I multitask. But talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.